Hello everybody and welcome back to Stefan's Kitchen. I'm your host Stefan, and first off I'd like to say that I'm sorry that I didn't update this page. My computer did go down almost 2 weeks ago now, and I've been waiting to get it fixed. Back on my old one, and I'm also building a new one, so I should be able to pump out more videos quickly from now on, so I'll be able to update more often. Anyways, let's cook beef and broccoli. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a pound of beef, and we're going to do it in a different kind of a marinade. Now this marinade will include about a tablespoon of rice vinegar, a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon and a half of soy sauce, about two tablespoons of water, and about a tablespoon and a half to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And you want to add in the first ingredients all together and add your cornstarch in very last. Next, what we're going to do is we'll cut all the beef, obviously, into small strips, as you can see here, and you let it marinate for about 30 minutes, and then you fry it in about, I think it's a cup of oil. Now, once your oil's hot, obviously, you're going to put your beef in. Do it slowly. You don't want it to spit and splatter at you and burn yourself. But yeah, once your beef is cooked and pretty much looks like this, you can just take it right out of the pan, let it kind of drain off, let it sit, and while it sits there, it'll actually tenderize itself as well, because the meat has a time to rest in. Next, what you can do is start preparing your vegetables. You can cut your broccoli down into smaller pieces, about the size of what you'd like to have or see in your beef and broccoli. And also, you can crush 2 cloves of garlic, 3 if you really like it. That's more or less the garlic beef and broccoli then. Also, don't forget to wash your broccoli, as it may have dirt, or there could be a bug or something on it. Depending on where you get it, you might get a market fresh or something like that as well. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to make our sauce, which is going to consist of a tablespoon of dark soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Next, we will add in 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, and also add in about a tablespoon and a half or 2 tablespoons of water, depending on how you want your sauce to be. I guess how salty you like it, more or less, I guess. And also, you can make a thickener using 2 teaspoons of cornstarch mixed with a tablespoon of water, and as you can see here, that's our sauce. Now, up next, we're going to be cooking the crushed garlic. And what we're going to do is, first we're going to use 3 tablespoons of oil in the wok, and we're going to heat up the garlic and let it fry enough so that it gets aromatic. You don't want it to burn, because then it gets a really bitter taste on it as well. And as you can see here, here's the little bottle of garlic that I use. It's already pre-minced and stuff, so I just like to use a nice little round tablespoon like this, and there you go. Now I'll let that slowly simmer in the pan. And like I said, you just want to let it get aromatic, let it sweat, I guess, in the oil and stuff. Let all the flavors start to release before you start adding your broccoli, of course. So, and again, don't leave it in a clump in the middle of the pan, because obviously you're just going to get burnt on the bottom, and the rest of it's just going to be still, I shouldn't say raw, but just not, fried enough. As you can, look at this, the little pieces of garlic are just jumping up everywhere. It's the moisture that's in it as well, right? That's why it's kind of nice to use fresh garlic sometimes, because it doesn't pop like this. But anyways, add your broccoli directly into the pan with the garlic. Make sure you give it a good stir around too as well, so that way the garlic is still not on the bottom just burning. And don't worry, you won't need to add any more extra oil. This will be enough to keep the broccoli cooked. Broccoli has a pretty high moisture level, so it'll keep itself, it'll stand firm in the pan. It won't burn too badly either. So what we're going to do next is we're going to season everything. Season our broccoli before we cook it with everything else, using salt. And we're going to use, obviously, well, not obviously, we're obviously going to use some salt to season it, so we're going to use about a half of a teaspoon right there. And next, what we're going to use is a little bit of white sugar, and basically all you want to use is about a teaspoon of white sugar. And don't worry, it's not going to make it over sweet. You might think, well, why are you putting salt in it? But believe me, there's a reason for it. Now we're going to just briefly stir fry this, make sure nothing burns, as we said before. And to make sure that we're going to get this completely and fully cooked, we're going to add about a half a cup of water to the broccoli. Here we go. And what that will do is that'll help cook it all the way through. That'll prevent it from burning. That'll add a little bit more, I guess, liquid for the sauce as well. And as you can see, the color in the broccoli is starting to come out really nicely. Now, turn down the heat just a little bit, and what we're going to do next is we're going to pop the cover right onto this, and we're going to let it cook for about 4 or 5 minutes until it turns a nice bright green and it's tender but still crisp. And as you can see here, everything is really looking nice there. It's really bright green. Just give it another stir. Nothing stuck on whatsoever. It looks really good. So what we're going to do next is, now that it's cooked, we're going to turn off the heat, and we're going to remove this broccoli and let it sit, let it drain off a little bit while we're waiting. And that way we can clean out the wok and get it prepared to combine all the ingredients together. Now at this time, take your pan, obviously clean it out, make sure it's nice and dry, and we're going to add in a little bit more oil, about 2 more tablespoons of oil. Now what I did is I went and put everything into the one, I guess, spot to drain, because 1, I don't want to lose the beef juices, and 2, I don't want to lose the broccoli juices, because all that stuff is flavor, so you don't want to lose any of that. So I pretty much just let them drain into the same container, and what I did is, once it started draining off and you started seeing liquid, I poured that liquid right into the bowl with the sauce. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add the beef and broccoli directly to the pan, and like I said, you want to make sure once your oil's in there, you want to turn that on and make sure it's nice and hot. The hotter it is, the better it is, because then you can do a really nice stir fry with this. Now, as I mentioned before, we do have a sauce, and we do have thickener. So as you can see here, here's our thickener, which I said is 2 teaspoons of cornstarch and a tablespoon of water. I just usually use my finger to mix it up. I do it in a little ramekin. That way everything's mixed up and it's not going to get clumpy. So first what we're going to do is we're going to add in all of our sauce, and as you can see here, it's still a little bit liquidy. That's probably from some of the beef and broccoli juices as well. All the thicker stuff like the oyster sauce goes right to the bottom because it's really thick. So get as much of that in there as you can. And everything's starting to look really great, starting to come together. Another thing you could add to this is an onion as well. Onions always work well in pretty much any Asian inspired dishes, so by all means, if you're a really big onion lover, chop one up and add one in the same time you did the broccoli. And next, what I did there is I threw in the cornstarch thickener mix, and we're just gonna slowly push everything around, let all the flavors mix together, make everything mix together. Probably used a little bit more beef than I said at first. I said about a pound. I probably used a little bit more myself, but that's just me. I do like a lot of beef. And there we go, it's done. Oh, also, if you're going to use onions, and some people also like carrots or even cauliflower, add a little bit more extra water, make sure that there's enough there for it. And here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Everything looks great. Just nice thick sauce, not too runny. This is the way that it's meant to look. This is so great. So here you have it, guys. Serve this on a bed of rice or just have it with some other Chinese food. So thank you guys as always for watching, and I'll see you guys in a new episode soon.